Okay, for these two problems, you might even think back to when we used to have these nice one-step equations. And what we would do is the opposite of what we were given. So if they were adding 6, you subtracted 6 on both sides. That's the property of opposites, or 0 pairs there, and you end up with A equals -1. 5 subtract 6 is -1. That's the same idea here. This time, we're going to just be dealing with fractions. Nothing really new. So we have y plus 3/4, and what you want to do is subtract 3/4. So we can get y by itself. And if we subtract 3/4 on the left side of the equation, we have to subtract 3/4 on the right side of the equation. That's that property of equality. On this side, you ended up with y plus 0 or y over here. So basically, we've taken care of this. We have y by itself, so we have our goal almost there of solving for the variable. On this side, we don't have common denominators, so we'll have to fix that. Let's see if we get a little more space here. We have 3 and 4. The lowest common multiple of 3 and 4 is 12. So I'm going to multiply this side by 3/3 and multiply this side by 4/4. So the fractions we'll have here, remember it was negative to begin with. It's going to stay negative. It's going to be 8/12. Subtract 9/12. Okay. All right. Then, if you want, some people even like to continue the rule of changing subtraction. Whoa. Of changing subtraction to adding the opposite. You can do that. We're going to then just be working with that -8 plus -9. Total of -17 twelfths. Always keeping your denominator the same here. You can reduce this, and for this quiz, when they say simplify, they would like that. 12 goes into 17 once, with 5 left over, and our denominator was 12. Think of that like your units. Say if it was miles, feet, kilometers, you're going to keep the units. That's your denominator. The original fraction was negative, and we're just changing its form, so it's of course going to stay negative in its mixed number form. Number 12, same thing, but this time we have mixed numbers. As we said in class, it is possible to work with mixed numbers, but highly recommended that you change the form to improper. So we're going to do 4 times 6 plus 5, so it's 29, 6. And over on the right-hand side, same thing, we're going to change form, multiplying, adding. 6 times 8 is 48, plus 1 is 49. 8. And this was negative, this was subtract, and y was there. So I'm just going to put it back together. So we've just changed their forms. Their signs don't change. Don't do anything different with that. We're going to be adding 29/6 to the left side of the equation so that we can get y by itself. So you can show that step. All right, hopefully the system keeps going. It's slowing down here. We've got 29/6. Oh, it's still running kind of slow. So I'm adding it on that side. I'm also going to add that 29/6, 29/6 on the right-hand side. Hard fractions to say. Okay, now the left-hand side, we know that that would be the property of opposites, and that will end up with 0. So we're going to end up having our y all by itself, which is what we want. On the right-hand, move over. On the right-hand side of the equation, on the right-hand side of the equation, we have to deal with this -49 over 8. -49 over 8 plus 29/6. They are not like denominators, so we have to convert them. We have an 8 and a 6. The lowest common multiple of 8 and 6 would be 24. So we'll convert these. Okay, multiply this side by 3 over 3. Multiply this side by 4 over 4. Lots of work to be squeezing in here. That's why sometimes I was surprised to see homework for 24. Students didn't show enough work. 27, 12, 147. Remember, this was negative, so this is going to be negative also. Adding, it's 36. Carry the 3, 8. 3 is 11. And on the bottom, 24. Okay, and now the problem again needs us to just work with the numerators. Negative 147 plus 116 leaves us, we got 4, 120 plus 27, so 31. And the negative 31, 24ths. Again, that can be simplified. 24 goes into 31 once with 7 left over. 24 is the denominator. And it was negative when it was an improper, so it'll be negative when it's a mixed number. And that concludes those two problems right there. Quite a few steps. Take it one thing at a time. Just think about what you need to do. It shows a lot of work here, but it's a matter of converting the mixed numbers to improper. Once you have that, thinking about how am I going to get the variable by itself by adding the opposite. And when you go about doing that, in the final couple fractions that you're working with here, we need to make sure that they have common denominators so that you can actually work with the numerators, add them, subtract them, do whatever you need. You're following the order of operations and the rules we've learned for integers.